How is it going, everybody? It is Sean, or the Armchair Coach, and welcome to Season 6 of UTSA Dynasty, our very first season here in the SEC. It's going to be a tough challenge, but as you're going to see here in just a second, I think we have a roster that is up for the challenge. Let's waste no time, honestly. Let's get right into taking a look at this new look roster and look at that overall. It's almost enough to make a grown man cry. From our humble beginnings as a low 70s overall squad to here we are as a 95 overall here in year 6. And one of the biggest stories here, I think, to start this year is our quarterback room. We have Gregory Fala and Tremaine Bostic here, both who seem to be pretty dang talented, right? They're talented in different ways, but also in the same ways in some areas, right? They both have pretty decent throw power, with Tremaine Bostic really tipping over into that elite status. And then if you look at the athletic category, Gregory Fala as a dual threat definitely has the edge. However, Tremaine Bostic still can definitely move a little bit. However, look at the accuracy numbers is really where the difference is made for me in who's going to get the nod here to start the season. If you look, even being a dual threat, Gregory Fala ends up having better accuracy numbers than Tremaine Bostic, this transfer from Florida State that we brought in during the offseason stream, which if you missed, I really hope to catch you in another one here soon on Twitch at the Armchair Coach. As we move down the rest of the roster here, Chad Draghi was an interesting situation. As you can see, he's making significantly less NIL than last year, and if you're asking how I pulled that off, once again, please tune into the stream because it was a very interesting situation. He was really upset about, I can't even remember what it was. I think it was our play style. He did not like our play style for whatever reason and really wanted to leave unless we paid him almost like 500 NIL. Wasn't going to do that, was already feeling like I was overpaying him, so we let him walk into the transfer portal, and then we were able to reacquire him in the transfer portal for a mere 85 NIL. Did we make out like bandits? I sure as hell think so. So get fleeced, young man. As we still see the rest of our roster is in good shape. Joey Escalante here is really shaping up to be the next Deuce Lawrence, DJ Dugar. Take your pick of explosive running backs we've had so far in this series. This guy's bound to be the next one here. Jarek Boyman also working his way up the roster. Excited to see him make a debut here at some point in the near future. In the wide receiver room, I mean, this whole room could make me cream right now. I'm not even going to say pause or feel bad about it. Look at the talent in here. George Nijman, a 91 overall, 6'5", 208 contested specialist. He is insane at the catch point now. A 99 with his spectacular catch, in fact. 98 catch in traffic even. And 90 catching, and that's to go along. I mean, he's not a great jumper. That's the one thing I guess I wish these contested specialists were a little bit better at. And honestly, receivers in general. I mean, look at the jumping numbers here. I really feel like we should probably be seeing receivers with better jump numbers. I feel like receiver verticals in the NFL and college are actually pretty damn good. I feel like this is more like tight end tight end like vertical range. Anyway. That aside, I mean, George Nijman here, Emmett Longo, he's getting the #1 jersey this year. That's something else that we are going to be able to do this year. So revealed first here is Emmett Longo wearing the #1. I know technically he's second on the depth chart, but they're the same overall, and he has the seniority in this case, so he gets to wear it this year. He is also, once again, electric at the catch point. Same kind of statistics here, or same kind of same kind of attributes here as George Nijman here, and he's also 6'4". So, I mean, we've got two insane contested specialists running our outside. And instead of Prince Hall in the slot this year, meet Jay Connors, who was a 3-star transfer. Imagine that, right? He was a 3-star transfer, but he was a super high overall. So there was no one going after him. So we slid right in those DMs, young man, and we brought him over. Sammy Antoine definitely could probably fill in that slot role, and we definitely might be doing a little bit of a rotation here between the two of these guys. However, he's still a pretty electric athlete on his own with 94 speed and 90 acceleration. And, I mean, he's also a pretty good route runner. Damie Antwine, of course, we know all about him and his electric speed, and we developed the hell out of his route running this year. So hopefully by next season, we're talking about a Tyreek Hill kind of player with even better size. And of course, Taylor Clinton is still here. The transfer that was slow as dirt is not slow as dirt anymore. We've made him nice and fast, and he will probably, within the next season, be our next stud contested specialist. This entire receiving room right now, insane. I'm incredibly proud of what we've done there. We bring in a 2-star transfer tight end here that ends up being an insanely decent prospect. That was interesting to me. Our offensive line is looking a little bit questionable, especially for SEC play, but we're not going to necessarily worry about that because our defensive line is even worse. We've got no depth and no talent, really, and that's going to be a problem. So definitely going to be a priority in the transfer portal / recruiting this season to bring in some talent there. Defensive tackle finally isn't a problem for us. Amazing that that's the case. Outside linebacker, Kerry Harms might be getting some significant pass rushing snaps this year with our edge rushers being horrendous. And then at Mike linebacker, we have a logjam of really talented players here. Hopefully all of these guys develop, but I think, Demetrius Kamara might be getting the start here with better speed than Akeem Tam. I don't know. Remains to be seen there. And then, of course, in the cornerback room, we have another logjam of really talented players, which, of course, in a room like your cornerback room is a great thing to have. Marco Arcuri was a transfer prospect that we brought in, and he is going to hold down that safety position for us. Sammy Baker also probably would have been just fine. And then Kona Head is another safety we brought in, which thank God, because it was not looking too great. I mean, it's still not looking great if I'm being honest. And then, of course, our kicker and punter, you know them well, and we will move on from our roster here. Trying not to waste too much time on stuff you guys already know pretty well at this point, so we can move on to what is really important, which is talking about a couple of things. Now that they've updated the game again, we can see here in our coach expectations, or our AD expectations, that we need to have 15 or fewer turnovers on offense this year. I think that's a very doable goal. Briggs Cherry had an amazing season through the air this year, and I think Gregory Fala might be in line to have an even better season. If you look at how Briggs Cherry was able to move the ball on the ground with his legs, I think Gregory Fala could do even better with the kind of athlete that he is. And then they also want us to sign at least one 4-star recruit this year, which I think we can absolutely do. One of the things that we're going to do here before we get into our recruiting board is spend our coach points to help our recruiting trail maybe. And then we also need to win 50% of our road games this year. And that's a little bit scary, right? Because now we're not in the American where we can kind of snooze through conference play. We're in the SEC now where every game is going to be a hell game probably. Here in the preseason, we have a new staff slot that we can fill if we would like to. But what would we want? Would we want to hire a player personnel coordinator to reduce NIL expectations? Do we want a strength and conditioning coordinator to help us with our offseason progression XP? I feel like you have to consider the cost to return benefit here, right? Because I mean, some of these platinum tiers, right? I mean, who's spending that kind of who's got that kind of budget to spend? I mean, I don't know. But regardless, I think for us, we're looking in the silver tier, and maybe we go ahead and get ourselves an acquisition lead and get a discount, a 30% discount on all of the support staff. Or we go with, I mean, we could spend $500 to get the gold one, which I think is super. The other thing, I sit here and I get excited about the prospect of doing this, and then I realize, like, you'd be left with 1,600 NIL, which, like, is a decent amount. Okay, I talked myself into it. It took me no time at all. Okay, so I don't know if you saw, but we got a pretty nice refund from the other staff that we've hired. That was really nice that it does that. So we get like a nice little return. So it's like we've spent even less NIL to get this discount. That's really nice. So we end up with 1945 NIL after making that deal. I think that's a really good thing for us in the long run. So with that being said, we're left with that amount. Okay, so now with our staff and blueprint managed, we can move on to our next task here. I will show you really quickly because I find it comical almost, but it does make sense in a way. If you weren't in stream, which I know that a lot of people probably weren't if you're watching this randomly on a YouTube video, no one here on our team, on the national first team or second team, which isn't surprising. And I guess it's also not necessarily surprising we're not anywhere on the all-SEC first or second team. It's a little bit disappointing because I think we have talent that could compare to some of these guys. But, you know, whatever. We haven't earned our keep yet, I suppose. However, what's even funnier to me is now with the lack of talent in the American, you would be pretty... I think you'll find it pretty amusing to see what the all-conference first looks like. So it's just Memphis's entire roster. Shout out Alex Rhodes here. If you remember, I think Alex Rhodes was on our team. Or we were... Actually, no. We were attempting to go after Alex Rhodes, if I remember correct, in recruiting, and we didn't end up getting him. It's just all Memphis. And you'd think, okay, well, if Memphis's rosters everybody on the first team, the second team surely has got some more variety to it. Nope, it's just mostly more Memphis. A little bit of other teams mixed in, but yeah, no, it's just mostly Memphis. It's just crazy to me. I found that hilarious. But anyway, we will go ahead and move over here to spend our coach points. Unfortunately, we haven't won 5 playoff games yet, so we can't start building into Program Builder, which is definitely something I would love to be able to do because we can then start upping our pipelines, right? We've talked extensively, I think, in videos and now in the offseason that we just can't compete against premium pipelines for these players right now. If we can upgrade some of our pipelines, I really think we start evening the playing field when it comes to recruiting. We've also moved to a stronger conference, which should help. So definitely want to be able to do that. Now, I also think strong roots might be good for just the first tier, the boost to our primary pipeline. I used to also maybe... I'm trying to think about what I used to build into last season. And I think I used to at least go tier 1 in here to get the 3 additional persuade attempts, but we don't need that anymore this season, right? Yeah, I mean, besides relationship builder in here, that's, I think, the only thing we would go into, and we would absolutely go into it fully. So that's 120 coach points we're spending in that. And of course, we'd love to get some CEO abilities. We need to spend a little bit more in tactician, right? Because we were trying to get into architect to start getting points in architect, right? Because we want to get to tier 3 here to be able to increase the chance to increase a random skill cap when we level up our players. That'll be incredibly helpful during the offseason. Plus, we also will get XP bonuses for our players, which will help them level up, get more points for the offseason. I mean, in Motivator, we can unlock Master Motivator if we wanted to. I mean, what would we go into? Do we really want to go all the way into tier 4 for all XP gains? It's just not worth it for the cost. We can find XP gains for our players later. It says if I make a coach in Madden 27, I can get into this is insane. What? Okay, so we get more coach points, or I mean, none of these really matter. Like, none of these abilities, I don't give a crap about any of these, so... I mean, I do have an interest in playing Madden, but I'm definitely not buying it at full price. Just not worth the $70, and I'm not rich enough. I don't make money from YouTube, right? I've got 17 subs, which thank you very much for 17 subs. That's a very big number when you start at 0, right? Just thinking about 17 people out there who are at least interested enough to be notified when my videos post is incredible to me. So once again, thank you to all 17 of you out there that are subscribed. I'm not making money from this right now, which is fine. I understand that I'm not making content that's money making right now. However, that just means I can't necessarily jump over to the brand new game every time it drops. Looking at these yeah, I mean, those abilities literally are just, hey, we're going to give you more power with your NIL because you spent more money on the game. Whatever. Strategist is another interesting one here. I've never saw the value in it. However, this season I feel like visits are especially like more important than ever, but we will have to see. I mean, we've let our recruiters at coordinators kind of be our lead in that area. I just wish we could have them branch out in, like, honestly, what I wish you could do as a head coach is tell your or be in control, or at least partial control of where your coordinators branch out to. It'd be really nice if I could get my coordinators to branch out into strategists, because having a recruiter and a strategist, I think, as a coordinator would be like insane. Or even a recruiter, strategist, or talent developer, right? Now, talent developer is another archetype I haven't built a ton into either. It might be interesting for at least the first 2 tiers. We will have to see. I think the first thing we're going to do, right, is we're going to make sure we spend the 200 that's necessary to unlock Architect, which we still need to spend 70. Oh boy, so happy about that. So 20, 40, and then 60, and then we'll spend it on our offensive line, right? Always good to make our offensive line play a little better during the game. And now we should be able to unlock Architect. We're going to start upgrading it. We can upgrade all of the offensive side of these tokens to tier 1. So we'll have a little boost to our development this season. However, that doesn't necessarily help us in the recruiting trail. Thank you for telling me what I already know. I just did it. With that being said, it is now time for us to head out on the recruiting trail, as we are projected, without even having to pull NIL on our players, to have 3,000 NIL. We are going to be spending, fellas. Let's take a look here at what we need, which I'm assuming we're going to need a lot of offensive. Oh my fucking God. Oh.
Alan, we are so fucked.
Oh. Our situation is not optimal. I will be back. Okay, so we've got 16 players on our board. As you can see, that doesn't even begin to cover our debt as far as the talent that's leaving. However, this is really, I think, all we can take to begin as far as our hours are concerned. We'll probably, I think, estimating, right, we usually end up with like 100 less during the season, so we'll have like 740 to spend. This is what we're going to start with. We might end up adding more later. The other thing I'm noticing here is that the NIL demand for a lot of these like 4 stars is a lot less than it used to be. I mean, the #1 guy in the country is only asking for 160 NIL. It is a lot different than it used to be. I feel like when the game first launched, these guys were asking for like 300 NIL at the stop or at the top here. So I think EA's definitely gone through and done some adjusting here on the NIL system, which is probably good. Makes the game a little bit more digestible. That's the one. That's the word we were looking for. Digestible for the layman here, as we are going to go ahead and scout these guys out here. So I'm gonna actually order these guys up by their national rank first, and then, well, actually we can do this. It's really quick. So Nick Vanderdoes here. Vanderdoes? Vanderdoes? I don't know. Pick your poison with his last name, I suppose. But he is the top prospect on our board currently. We're not going after any 5 stars because they're not interested enough. However, this year we do see a heavy rise in interest in 4 stars here. As you can see, like, a lot of the 4 stars here have some significant interest in us, and we made sure to go through and put some in our pipeline. But to start here, we found a gem in Nick Vanderdoes. Or, I'm not going to call him Nick Vanderdoes. I think Nick Vanderdoes. All right, hold on. We're putting the mystery to bed right now. Okay, so it's actually Vanderdoes. So I think I said that in one of my pronunciation attempts. So Nick Vanderdoes here is a gem, and I think that we can definitely use as many gems as possible. So Max Trimble here is an elusive route runner. Haven't scouted one or haven't brought in one of these guys in a while. However, he looks pretty dang good for an elusive route runner. Usually they kind of come in a little bit slower than that. So the fact that we don't maybe have to develop his speed, as Tyrone Chester is our first bust, so we'll go ahead and say goodbye to him. Hit the road, Jack, and we'll re-add a player here in a second. Tevin Gammon, another elusive bruiser, and another bust here. Oh my goodness. Roland Dalton, a free safety hybrid. Little bit slow, but I think we can work with that, right? We've seen that we can develop some guys' speed here. As Eric Span, a speed rusher from Fort Worth, is our next guy here, and he actually has us first on his board right now, so that's exciting. Mike October here, the cornerback from Temple, Texas, is a bust. Oh my goodness. How many 4-star busts are we going to find in this class right now, as we will remove him from the board? So Zach Cahill, well-rounded. Oh my God. How many 4-star busts can we find in one class? Apparently every bust in the country wants to come to UTSA. Why am I not surprised? As Nick Eldrenkamp here looks pretty good for a dual threat. 90 throw power to go along with 81 speed. That's about as good as you could expect out of a dual threat at this point. College football games, I miss the days when they used to have like above 90 speed. As Alan McDuffie, a 3-star, looks pretty good. How about Lorenzo Turbin, a tight end prospect here? 85 speed is crazy. Morgan Hawkins, yet another bust. Oh my goodness, we are having the worst recruiting trail right now. As Jamie Brandon Berg, let me finish his name here, he looks fine. How about Bobby October, the brother of Mike here from Lexington? Oh my God, they're both busts. Oh my God, so we started with 16, now we have 10. 6 of 16. What's that bust percentage? Holy shit. Someone keep me far away from a casino right now. Golly. All right, well, we'll do take 2 on our recruiting board and we'll be back. So take 2 here. We've got some more prospects on the board that we need to sort through here. Finau Tafua, a will linebacker, becomes the top prospect on our board, as long as he's not a Sunyon ring. Can we be so for real? So that's 7 busts in my recruiting now. I'm scared at this point to continue scouting our players. Okay, a gem in Victor Crum. So that's really nice as a tackle prospect. We need as many of those as we can get. And DeMarcus Galladay is our next recruit here. Okay, that's 8. Oh my God, how many busts can I scout? I mean, we haven't even scouted our specialists here, which we're putting blind faith in them to be all right. But at least, oh my God, that's 9. 9 busts that we've scouted. We're really going to use every single hour that we've got this recruiting or this scouting cycle. I cannot believe the horrific luck that we are having. I mean, we try to go after guys that are like in good pipelines for us and are somewhat interested, but it's looking like we might have to be a little bit more open-minded, you might say, as no one in our pipeline seemed to be any good at football. Okay, so James B is our next attempt at outside linebacker. We haven't really scouted or been in tune with a field corner in a while. We don't really rock with them like that, you know, but we might add one here to see if he's any good in Tony Bethune. Got 91 speed, okay. 91 change direction, okay, hold on. I take it back. This guy's got crazy speed. He didn't used to have speed like that. Maybe I'm mistaken here. As James B is the next prospect to scout. Okay, Greg Brightwell, last one. Oh, we finally did it, guys. Oh my God, we're bust free. I cannot, it's a good thing we have 840 hours. Holy shit, that was insane. How many busts can you scout? So we'll go ahead and scout our specialists now. Okay, not the craziest kick power, but we've seen that can definitely develop here, and I think that's what EA is going for. We will leave these as our 16. You know what, I've got 90 hours, and at least for my kicker, I'm going to be a selfish little chud and try to find the best possible power kicker. I understand there's not no one decent in our pipeline. There also just aren't many like 3-star kickers like there used to be. Like there's one in Florida, a couple power guys here. So yeah, that's it. So there's 1, 2, 3, and then the one I've got. So we're gonna scout all of them, and we're gonna pick the best one. That's what we're gonna do. We're gonna pick the best one. And I understand that they might not be in a pipeline, but fuck it, we go for it anyway, right? Okay, well, we definitely go after a bust. That's the 10th one, double-digit bust counting. And okay, none of these guys have over 90 kick power. Wow. Okay, so they've definitely nerfed freshman kick power here. I think John Ogboe is better than Marvin Stevens, so we'll We'll go after him from Tucson, Arizona, and that'll be our 16. And we have spent every single hour that we've gotten to make it happen. Shouldn't have been that way, however, Bus Central this year. Dude, that's right, now we can't even escape the Texas matchup because now they're in conference, so we've got to play them. And they're week 1. I mean, Jesus Christ. All right, well, this episode's going to start with a bang. Can we finally do it? As our next match will be against Texas State and then FCS Northwest. You know, we'll change that because we like to play actual football teams, even if they're bad. We'll play North Dakota State at home. How about that? Then it's the gauntlet. Georgia, Auburn, Kentucky's fine. Alabama, Ole Miss. We can handle Missouri. And then we can handle South Carolina. Oklahoma before we finally get a break with Western Michigan at the end of our schedule. Oh my goodness, what are we getting ourselves into here? Well, it's time to hop into the season and let's find out. Okay, so here is how recruiting is looking in week 0. So because they've lowered the expected NIL of these 4-star guys here, I feel more comfortable just going ahead and offering them the interested scholarship offer, right? To get them interested off the bat, give us a little bit of a bonus here right off the jump so we can really jump out to a good start in some of these recruitments, right? We're just really trying to set ourselves apart from the start because we've seen so many years in a row where we've just not been able to stay in these recruitments. So we're trying a new strategy here and seeing if it helps us, as Nick Eldrenkamp is already in his top 5. That's someone likes to rush into things here, as we will have a big matchup here week 1 against Texas. So I'm going to get practice set up. We'll take a look at how recruiting's looking, and I will see you soon. Look at how things are looking here, right? We're in first for so many of these guys, and to my pleasant surprise, we're not seeing too many of these big programs like hop in here early. And even in the recruitments where there are other programs coming in, we are still outpacing them currently. So I think we are off to a better start with our scholarship package, and everywhere else we're still looking pretty good for. Think about upping our offer here on Greg Brightwell just a teeny bit. Get him interested. I mean, that's what we got to do, right? Just get them interested. TCU's got a better pipeline, so that's how we combat it, with more money. Throw money at the problem like we love to do around here. Now, Nick Eldrenkamp, as you can see, we scheduled him for a week 2 visit. You might think that I'm rushing the visit here, but given how he rushed into his top 5, I think we're moving at the same speed, don't you? Next thing you know, you'll see us at the altar together getting married. Everybody else here we're still looking in good shape for. Alan McDuffie, we're a little bit behind TCU in his recruitment. Can't give him any more money because he's only wanting 5. So we will just up his hours here to keep up with TCU. But that really is good starts to our recruiting, as we're going to hop in here against Texas. We're at home, and we should be far superior. But let's find out. First game inside the Alamo Dome whilst being part of the SEC. We don't even get a chance to acclimate to having the patch on our field here before we're playing to prove we deserve it, as we will take on a Texas team here today that has gotten the better of us all 3 times that we have met here in the past. So today we are going to come out with our eyes on finally seizing a victory here, as Texas is driving the ball down on us on their one of their first drives here of the game. And we're going to have to step in on defense and try to make a stop here on 3rd and 4. They're going to send a man in motion, probably not feeling too hot about running zone, as they will complete it short here, and we kind of like bounce him back and forth, but finally get him down. And now Texas is inside our red zone here early. How crazy is it, right? You move to a new conference and your very first matchup is against Texas, right? And I think we've made so many jokes about Texas being, okay, thank God we knocked that out. We've made so many jokes about Texas being a team we'll end up having to face for the college football playoff championship. That hasn't come to fruition here. However, our very first matchup within the SEC is a 4th rematch against Texas, as their receiver will bounce off 5 or 7,000 tackles, it felt like, before finally getting dragged down. This is really just going to be the we can't make a stop episode, but Terrain Figueroa rips into the backfield. Do you remember when he was a 2-star recruit? What a player he's turned into here, as he's benching, as we will force Texas to kick a field goal here on 4th and 6. Talk about getting into the backfield with some effectiveness, man. He has really turned into a star. Couldn't believe the results there, as we are on 4th and inches on our very first offensive opportunity in our own territory here. It's a risky decision, but we are going to go for it. I see press coverage there on George Nijman, and that looks like barbecue chicken alert if you ask me, as he can't go up and catch it. Once again, this is one of those things where I felt like he could have rat catched it, and I felt like I was better off not trying to time it, but that's a situation where it obviously comes back to bite me in the butt here as Texas is on 3rd down. They're going to look to throw, and we're going to knock it out, as that was a duck that was floating through the air for what felt like forever. And it is still 3-0 here in the second quarter. Texas driving on us deep in our territory, however. In the shotgun again, they're definitely running plenty of that as they're going to hand off on 1st and 10. We'll stop the run that time. Little bit of a flat showing here from our offense to start this season, but Alan Anger is going to step up and fill the hole there and stop them on 2nd down. And on 3rd down, we're really going to be keyed in on a pass play here to make sure we don't don't play Tampa 2, because I swear every time I play Tampa 2, it's just going to get us scored on, as they're going to dump it off to the running back, and he's going to cut inside, and we will stop him short, making a couple of moves that made me look pretty silly there. As on 4th and 2, they are under center. I still feel like they're going to try to drop back and throw the ball, as no, they will hand off. We do manage to stop him after a short game, but not short enough that they can't pick the first up. 1st and goal. We're going to keep our composure here, right? We've seen crazy things happen in games where we felt like we were out of it here recently. Can't count our team out at any point. However, it really does feel like a season where, as good as our team is, we also might end up looking pretty foolish there out on the field. I feel like we have so many gaps at positions where we need to be really solid at that it could be really easy for us to fall short in any game, really, as Texas is going to hand off and the running back is going to get clobbered but still end up scoring the touchdown here, as we are still not doing much on offense, but we finally managed to break into the red zone here. I think we managed to turn Texas over, as it is 1st and goal for us here on the 6 of Texas. Hand off to Chad Draghi here. Nothing but space. That was a really easy one. Can't mess that one up, as we will walk into the end zone here to make it a 10-7 game right before halftime. And unfortunately, Texas will have no problem getting the ball into our red zone on the following drive. 1st and goal for them here. Gonna try to bring the press with our cornerbacks here, as they will hand off to the running back, and we are there to bring him down. That is Paul Howard on the stop there. Gonna keep running some man-to-man here. In fact, we're gonna keep making them play the press, as we don't want them to be able to just drop something short on us, and we will knock it out. Way to play the receiver, Paul. Two big plays back-to-back there from Paul Howard, and it is 3rd and goal for Texas. We are one more stop away from maybe forcing them to make a big decision on 4th down, as they're going to drop it off short, and we are there once again. And on 4th and goal here, they're going to call the timeout and kick the field goal. Defense stands tall here in the red zone. We played excellent coverage that time, I think. Really managed to cover anything the quarterback was looking to go to well. And we'll go into halftime only down by... Oh, okay. We managed to blitz up the field here right before halftime, and we'll have a chance to kick one right before halftime, as we'll line up with our big leg kicker, Salisi Higgins, and we'll line it up and put it right on through. And we will go into halftime down 13-10, as Texas will get a big run to start the second half. That's not what you want to see. So 3rd and 8 here on our next opportunity. Didn't realize it was 3rd and 8. Maybe should have paid a little bit better attention here. So we'll adjust to a pass play, as we'll drop back to pass, and we'll find our tight end who's wide open over the middle. That's Warren Ingram, the transfer product that we just brought into the squad, as we will move the sticks here and start inside the red zone. No better time for our offense to start coming alive than the second half, right? As Chad Draghi will take that one for 3. Only 7 carries today. That's interesting. What have we been doing instead? Have we been trying to throw the ball or what? As we're going to hand off here on 2nd down. He's going to shake off the tackle, spin, fall forward, and pick up the first. Can't be brought down. One of the toughest tackles in football, you would would think, as it is 1st and goal here for us. In the shotgun, let's see if we can find something quick through the air. Our tight end gets stuck on each other and we can't complete the drag route there. Things like that happen all too often, unfortunately. And on 2nd and goal here, we're going to maybe look to the pass again as they're going to call the flag. Right, but if the CPU were to do the same thing there, it's like no biggie and whatever, but whatever. So on 3rd down here, we're going to try to maybe generate a shot for one of our big play guys on the outside as we'll take one for George Nijman, and he's going to snag it! Touchdown! Give me a replay, please. And thank you. Holy cow, what a catch. I couldn't even see where the catch point was as he's... Oh, okay, we're naked. All right. Ball swinging in the crowd there as George Nijman definitely makes a huge play for us here. One-on-one coverage, and oh, what just a beautiful catch. Going to go up and cradle it in against the coverage. And we have the ball back here on offense, and it is 3rd and 5. Not really digging the look of the defense against what we were trying to run here, so we're going to switch the play here, and we'll drop back to pass. Texas brings the pressure quickly, felt it, so we're going to step up and run, and we will manage to pick up the first. That's Warren Ingram that goes down. That's not good. We definitely want to manage to keep him here, as it looks like we did not have much success after picking up that first, and we're going to be forced into a long field goal here. Going to lock in, make sure we don't miss. That might have missed, but I think we're good. Okay. Was a little bit concerned there. Missed it a little bit to the left, but we are still able to squeeze it through, and it is a tie ball game here as we are 7 minutes away from the conclusion. On 3rd and 8, Texas in the shotgun now. Anything can happen in the 4th quarter, especially in this video game, as they are going to do the draft. Don't worry about my inability to speak there, but they fail the jet sweep, and now it's our turn here to be on a 4th and inches. I mean, you're really not going to play press coverage on our receivers, are you? As it's Emmett Longo's turn, perhaps, to go get one. And he's going to go up and pick it up! 1st down! Or no, was he knocked out? I don't know. I think it said moment missed, so I think that was incomplete. I think he was out of bounds. I was about to be beside myself if he got the foot down. But it would appear that he did not indeed get the foot down as Texas is going for it on 3rd and 16 here. I mean, they're not going for it, but they're trying to pick it up on 3rd and 16 is probably what I should have said. We have the ball here with 3 minutes left. How many times have we been in this situation before, right? As we have a chance to go down and win this ball game against Texas here as Joey Escalante is getting the first carry, and oh my God, he had that safety out of his shoes, and he had me out of my shoes. I wasn't ready to have that much space as he just, oh my God. Somebody get this guy a map. Anyway, I mean, if we're going to have that kind of success on the ground, why not run it on first here right before the 2-minute warning while we still have got plenty of time as he's got nothing but space. They'll eventually manage to take him down here after a big gain, but it is first down, and that will be the 2-minute timeout. Plenty of success, I think, in this game. I wish we could have had more opportunities to use our offense, but it looks like we are going to be quite the electric team if we can, put it all together on the field. I think we had a little bit of a rough start to the season here, as on 2nd and 4 here, we're going to continue to pound the ball on the ground, continue to drive time off the clock as Chad Draghi will run through the safety and pick up the first. I mean, Texas isn't calling their timeouts, and if they're not going to do that, then we're just going to let the clock run down here. I probably should have put on shoe clock, but we'll just let the time run down here, and then you'll see me when we snap. We're going to hand off to Chad Draghi again here, and Texas will finally begin using their timeouts. I don't know why they wouldn't have done so before now. 2nd and 6 though. Once again, you know what we're doing. We're going to continue handing off. Happy to keep the ball on the ground, even if we're losing yards, honestly, at this point, right? Because we are in perfect shape to just kick the field goal to win this game. However, we don't want Texas to get the ball back. I am seeing the conundrum here as we'll switch to the pass, try to pick it up. We're going to roll out, and we're going to throw one on the run, and George Nijman is going to snag it. And with that, We should be able to run the clock out of our own accord here. We're going to hand off to Chad Draghi, just get him to go into the middle of the field. Make it a nice, clean kick for our kicker here. We're going to run the clock down. We'll call the timeout, and then you will see us on the field with our field goal unit. Alrighty, field goal unit on the field for our very first win over Texas. We won't even use the power because we don't have to. It's good. Unless a miracle occurs, we have finally done it. We have pulled out a victory against Texas. Once again, Jason Tatum comes to mind as we look at the stats here. Gregory Fala, a little bit of a rough showing here in his debut. 13 to 23 for less than 200 and a touchdown. Isn't bad. I can't complain that much. Rushing-wise, a little bit of a rough show as well as Chad Draghi fumbled. Just didn't get over 100 yards. 100 yards collectively between the two. However, just not the explosive running game that we were hoping to see here in the opener. However, we are playing a tough opponent. So once we start getting into the groove of things here, I think we will really see the offense start to take off once the chemistry begins to unfold. All right, so in recruiting right now, we're still looking pretty fine for just about everybody we're going after, except for maybe Alan McDuffie. At some point, we begin to wonder when we pull out of that recruitment, if we do. And then we really need to have a decent game here against Texas State because we got locked out for Victor Crumb because of our play style. I just love it. I love play style deal breakers. Really just the most frustrating and definitely realistic play style breaker. Deal breaker, whatever you want to call it. It's just making my brain fry trying to describe how it makes me feel here. However, we do have a matchup here against Texas State today. We have a singular recruit in attendance, but we are still going to put on a good show, I hope, as we are going to try to blow Texas State out of the water here today. Okay, game number 2 here, as we are once again at home and against Texas State today. Should be, I hope, a much easier game than Texas. However, Texas State is already in our territory as we are going to be on defense here on 3rd and 10. I mean, can we be so for real? Is Texas State really going to do this to us? As they're going to roll out and we are going to bring him down. Who is that? Daquan Fouts on the sack as we are going to be moving the ball with no problem on our ensuing drive here as we're going to take over on 3rd and 4. Fala in the shotgun. We're going to drop back. And I see Emmett Longo wide open. We're going to drop one in, and he's going to snag that in the corner of the end zone. Touchdown, Roadrunners. Trying to get him more involved. Didn't get him a big catch in the Texas game. We tried to. However, I don't think that we ended up coming through. As we are going to bring the blitz here on 3rd down, I think, as we do get someone through, but they do find the open man there, and they will pick up the first. Texas State actually goes down and scores. Okay, so our defense kept Texas below 20 points. However, now Texas State's already put up 10 on us in the first quarter here. What's happening? We'll hand off to Chad Draghi here on 3rd or 2nd and inches and pick up the first as the quarter will end. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how to feel about the fact that we are down 10-7 here to start the second quarter against Texas State as Chad Draghi will run through the Texas State defense and across the goal line for the score. So we are up 14-10 now. Now it's 21-10. Well, Texas State came out and put up a valiant fight there in the first quarter, but it would appear that we have finally awoken here in the second quarter. On 3rd and 3, we'll look to the pass game here. Gonna roll out. I mean, George Dingeman was wide open, but let's see how the wheels of Gregory Fala do here as he picks up a big chunk on the ground. I hate, it's like my worst nightmares when I see a receiver open way too late as we're going to drop back and there's nothing doing that time. We're going to make a man miss perhaps and pick up another first with our legs. That's definitely something that Briggs Cherry didn't have the speed to do necessarily. He wasn't truly an electric threat on the ground. The same way Gregory Fala can be, as Joey Escalante, our electric running back, is in the backfield. Is going to try to make a man miss, but they will bring him down in the backfield. The 2-minute timeout has come and gone here, as on 2nd and 12, maybe we try to go with a play-action play here, as we're going to find Connors in the end zone, maybe? No. I mean, that was a risky throw, I think. He's not a big play or a big catch guy the same way that like a George Nijman or an Emmett Longo is. As here on 3rd and 12, we're going to have to look through the passing game again, as this time he's got a step and we're going to lay it in there. Touchdown, Roadrunners. I mean, eventually that speed is going to win. You can't guard 94 speed all that well, or at least consistently every play, as we are going to be up 28-10 here, as we have 50 seconds left in the half, and we're just going to hand off because I'm in no hurry to score, but we've got a step, and we're gone. Say goodbye to Chad Draghi. This is the kind of performance I have missed out of this team, as we are going to have a one-play electric rushing touchdown from Chad Draghi. How about your elusive bruiser being fast enough to do something like that, huh? As we are in the red zone here in the 3rd quarter now. 2nd and 6, and Emmett Longo's gotten one today. Why not you, George Nijman? As we are going to not be able to time that one up. It was a little bit late on it. Oh well. 3rd and 6 now. We'll go to the run game. Once again, we are up big, not necessarily pressured to score, as we cannot find the gap there, and it will be 4th and 5 today, or 4th and 5 today. I was reading Chad Draghi's rushing stats and was getting ready to say that he's got 160 yards on the ground today, but mixed that up with my sentence I was still trying to finish. That's my ADHD brain on display for you there. As it is 38-13 here in the 4th quarter. They're going for it on 4th down, obviously trying to keep themselves in the game that they have been out of since the 1st quarter. As, okay, they're going to find the receiver there as we cannot play the ball, and they're going to pick up a big 1st down. I mean, shit like that happens when I play defense, apparently. I'm just really bad in coverage. As it's 38-20 now, as we've got the ball in the red zone. Happy to turn around and hand off to our stud running back here, and he's going to find some space, and he's going to be on his feet still. I thought he was about to take it all the way in, the way he was bouncing off tackles there. 2nd and 2 here. You know, me being the little rapscallion I am, why not go take a one-on-one shot, and we're going to get pushed out. Oh, he did catch it, though. I mean, I just have way too much fun trying to go up and win those one-on-one balls. As on 3rd and 2, we'll fake the toss, and we will drop it off to George Nijman. That was a risky throw, but I felt like I was running out of time there and made a risky play. Works out in our favor, though, as it is 1st and goal here on the 2-yard line. And you know what we're going to do. No need to get fancy. Just hand it off to the guy who can run through the defense for a touchdown. And as we continue to watch things wind down here, we'll have another 4th and goal opportunity here, as they're going to go for it. We're going to make sure we're playing press on their man. Don't let them get past us, as we do manage to knock it away. So Texas State is not going to find themselves another score, and they're going for it again here at the end of the game. It's 4th and 19. Happily to let them throw up whatever BS they want to throw up here, down as big as they are. As you didn't see me mistime that at all. As we walk out of here today, 45-20 victors. Oh, what a fun game this was. I mean, we really had a little bit of everything going on in this game, as Gregory Fala was 16 of 28 for 237 and 3 touchdowns. Chad Draghi, oh my goodness, brother. 23 carries for 255 and 3 touchdowns. Definitely glad that we had him still on our squad this year. Gregory Fala, 5 for 45 himself on the ground. Receiving-wise, Jay Connors, 6 for 103 and 2 touchdowns, having himself an electric game, as our 2 receivers on the outside and contribute pretty heavily as well. And then on the defensive side of things, getting a few tackles for loss, a couple sacks, and not really turning the ball over, unfortunately. But however, we are 2-0 here to start our first season in the SEC. And we're going to move on to, I think, our last non-conference game until way later in the season, if I'm not mistaken. But we will see soon, as he sets the single game rushing yards record. I'm not surprised about that. And I will see you next week. And would you look at that? We get a verbal commitment from Nick Eldrenkamp after his visit here against Texas State. And quite a few other players are ready for a visit. So I'm going to be busy in recruiting this week before we hop into our next matchup. And we have an SEC Player of the Week here, Chad Draghi, with a standout performance. So we're going to hop in here versus North Dakota State in just a second, but I will start doling out visits here before we hop in. That was a lot, but as you can see here, we have moved into the top 5 for just about everybody. Don't really know much about our kickers' pitches here, so I don't feel comfortable sending an offer, or not an offer, a sell his way. So everybody else here, we have put the sells on. We've scheduled everybody for visits. We've tried to make as many complimentary visits as possible here. I wish I could see like week by week who we have coming for a visit instead of having to like have to do this and then scroll through. So this week we have Nick Vanderdoes coming in along with Max Trimble, and I think that's it. And then starting week 6 at Kentucky, we have Tony Bethune, Roland Dalton, Matthew Nunn, and Jamie Brandenburg also coming. So those are all defensive backfield guys that are going to have that complimentary visit bonus. And then the next visit week at Alabama, we'll have, I think, our tight end prospect, Victor Crum, Alan McDuffie, and Nick Key coming to visit, as well as Lorenzo Turbin. And then there's just a couple of guys after that we can't quite fit in the other weeks, so they're going to have to come to visit at South Carolina. That's going to be Greg Brightwell as well as Eric Span here. So we're just going to have to hope that we can stay in those recruitments until then, because we don't have any home games after that Alabama game until week 11. With that being said, we're going to hop in here against North Dakota State. Got a couple of recruits in attendance here today, and we're going to try to continue to put up strong showings here against inferior opponent. Okay, third straight home game to open up the season here. Won't complain about that. However, I feel like it does bite us in the butt a little bit when it comes to recruiting later on in the season. But beggars can't be choosers here as we take the field here against North Dakota State. North Dakota State, I think, would be a fun series as well. I'm not really sure, because we are only 2 national championships away from the end of this series, right? We've talked about 3 titles makes a dynasty, and once we get our 3rd title, we will have finished our goal here at UTSA, as North Dakota State was playing some. Do we really have, wow, we have is our kicker cold here? What's going on? Okay, we overpower it, but we still do manage to get it through. We're cold at home here against North Dakota State. I don't know what's going on with that. But yeah, three titles makes a dynasty. So once we have won our 3rd, we will have completed our work here at UTSA, and it'll be time for a new challenge. I'm not really sure how I'm going to determine what school we did next, right? I think UTSA was just a team that I ended up doing on a whim, trying to find, I think, when I was originally creating this series, to let you under the hood, behind the screen of your least favorite YouTuber. When I was first creating the series, it really was just about, what school could I use in College Football 27 that hadn't already been rebuilt by, a Bengal or a Bordeaux, not the expert. You guys get the idea. Trying to find my own niche and finding a niche of people who were interested in this, and that's where we ended up at UTSA. So I still think I want to keep in that vein. I don't want to end up stomping on the feet of, other creators. And I'm really sad because there's I don't want to be insulting when I say like mid-tier creator, but he's not like massive, right? He's not millions and millions of subscribers. I think it's Mr. Hurricane is his name. He's doing a WVU series, and it makes me really sad because I would have loved to have done a WVU series, as North Dakota State is scoring a touchdown on us. Their offense came to play today. But yeah, I would have loved to do a WVU series. I graduated from school there, and obviously am very familiar with the struggles of the football program at that school. Is holy cow, Paul Howard, you are so slow. This is one of the downsides, right, of Paul Howard being so slow, is when he gets exposed in coverage, as they are going to try to run the read option, but we are there to bring the quarterback down. But I don't know. This is the part where I tell you to comment down below where you think I should go next after we finish up here. Still plenty of episodes left in this series, though. Can't count our chickens before we hatch, but just a little bit of full philosophical thinking here as we end the 1st quarter. But maybe I shouldn't have spent so much time philosophizing, as North Dakota State has had no problem moving the ball on us in this game. It's truly wild how efficient their offense has been, as they're going to drop one there, as in the tough environment here at the Alamo Dome, as you can see the stadium shaking here on 4th down. it becomes tough for you to do what you want to do on offense. We're going to switch to man here. Force them to beat us man-to-man through the air if that's what they want to do. Quarterback steps up and manages to stumble forward for the first down. Kona Head laying the wood there. Yep. Laugh at that one if you can find the connection, I suppose, as we're going to get in the backfield and blow up whatever the hell they were trying to do there. Oh my goodness, as we pile into the backfield on that one. 2nd and goal here, they're under center, and they're going to throw a quick RPO here, and we are once again there to take that down immediately. 3rd and goal, and they are lined up to throw the ball here, and I think we bring a little bit of a man zone blitz here as they're going to drop it off to the running back, and we are once again going to stuff it. So at the very best, North Dakota State will be able to tie this game, which on its own is also bad enough. I mean, we really shouldn't be tying the game here as, okay, I think we, bro dove at literally nothing as he dove past the kicker. Too athletic for his own good, I suppose. As on 3rd and 9, I'm not hesitant to hand the ball off here to Joey Escalante because we know that he can really break one. Not able to pick up the first, but we do have the opportunity to go for it here on 4th, which, you know, around here, if we're under 4th and 5, you know we're going for it. As Escalante's in the backfield again, and why not hand it off to him again? Let him get out into space and start doing his job. As one of the North Dakota State players gets hurt there, I had to hold my breath that it wasn't my tiny little fragile running back. I mean, he is a small little guy just like Deuce Lawrence. As once again, we see North Dakota State just driving the ball on us with absolutely no resistance, as they're going to barely miss out on a touchdown here right before halftime. We are lucky that that one was not complete here. 2nd and 10 in the shotgun again. Very interesting how we are struggling here against North Dakota State. I mean, we know that North Dakota State IRL is like the king of upsetting major teams, right? They were an FCS dominant team for such a long time, and that's why they finally made the jump to FBS. And honestly, I would love to see North Dakota State become a powerhouse in the FBS. How cool would that be? Just North Dakota is just not very exciting as a place, right? Tell me some interesting stuff that's in North Dakota. But anyway, here in the 3rd quarter now, and North Dakota State driving the ball on us again. We do have a slim lead here. However, like, we have recruits in attendance, guys. Can we do what we were doing last week against Texas State? I mean, we have the same team on the field, and North Dakota State is like the same quality of opponent according to the overalls. Now, oh, I see what's happening. This is one of those EA games. This is one of those prove you know how to play the actual game and win. It's not one of the EA. I feel like EA is just like every once in a while we got to make sure that you're actually like competent enough to win if you were in a bad situation here, as quarterback scrambling around like Lamar with none of the success, as it's 4th and 18, and they're going to line up for the field goal here. It's a long one, and this time we don't even get into the backfield to dive past the kick, as they make it a 4-point ball game. And we finally get another opportunity here on offense. It's 3rd and 9. We're in North Dakota State territory. I smell one-on-one coverage on the outside with our stud receiver, Emmett Longo. And, oh, I mistime it. I could have had it. We could have had it all. And on 4th and 9 here, we don't need to kick, or we don't need to be stupid here. Let's make this a touchdown lead, and we can continue to play solid defense like I think we've... Wait, no, what am I talking about here? Okay, so we get the ball back immediately, and now we're in the red zone again. I don't know what happened. I think we managed to get a turnover, as Chad Dragy's in the backfield here, and we're going to hand it off to him on 1st and 10. And we've got some space. Did not mean to juke there necessarily, but it's all right. We pick up 10, and it's 2nd and inches. And why not go back to the well on 2nd down, right? I mean, I feel like a broken record. Oh my God, look at that cut. I mean, this guy can run through you and he can run around you here, as we score yet another touchdown. It's 27-13 here. Offense starting to wake up in the second half, maybe right at the end of the game. No better time than the present anyway, as it's 4th and 3 here for North Dakota State, and they're going to hand off. It's a wall. He can't get past it. So what are we doing? Oh my God. Yeah, no, it's fine. Just get stuck on a wall and then, okay, so North Dakota State's going to go down and score a touchdown. 7-point game here as we have ball, 3rd and 4 on the 30, and that is Emmett Longo on the right side with one-on-one coverage, but they do rotate the safety over, so we're going to roll out with Gregory Fala. He's got some space, and we're just going to duck out of bounds, make the man miss, make him look silly as we get out, and it's 1st and goal for the Roadrunners. I think that was a good use of our new dual threat quarterback, right? Make sure that we don't make a stupid throw, and we are going to run through the North Dakota State safety. Let them know what's good, as North Dakota State refuses to quit in this game. I mean, honestly, I'm not even mad that North Dakota State is fighting in this game. It really feels like a true-to-life North Dakota State performance here, as their quarterback has electric speed and nobody nearby. Oh, man, this is a game, folks, as it is a 7-point ball game here with 2:39 to go. I mean, look, if we're being honest, if I'm controlling our team from snap number 1 in this game, we are walking out of here with a dominant win as Chad Dragey's just barely caught from behind that time. Almost pulled off a similar run to what he did against Texas State here. As on 1st and 10, we're going to do something we haven't been able to do in quite some time since Briggs Cherry was in here. And we're going to run the read option. And look how electric our QB run game can truly be, right? As Joey Escalante here is in the backfield, and we're going to hand it off to him. We know what kind of things he can do in open space, but they do manage to bring him down after just a short gain here. And North Dakota State's trying to call timeouts, but we are moving the ball with little resistance here, which if I had been controlling this team, like I said, from the beginning of this game, the score's like 65-0, right? And it's not even a game. However, in typical EA fashion, they kept North Dakota State in the game just to make me upset. And unfortunately, this also means we won't really get the kind of bonuses we wanted out of the visits for the recruits in attendance, but at the end of the day, we are still going to be fine. We're getting a win, which is a bonus enough towards the recruitment. Oh my God, did you guys just see that up there? Hold on, watch that one again. Boing! As we are going to go ahead and hit the QB kneel here. They're going to do that weird thing where I have to like kneel it twice. Yeah, okay. All right, so touchdown is the difference in this game. I mean, must have been a hell of a game for the crowd, as North Dakota State gave us just about everything we could handle here. Not a game to remember for Gregory Fala. Only 9 of 15 for 189 yards. I mean, what are we doing? We're just running the ball. I mean, we're running the ball 31 times. Holy jittle. As Chad Dragey had 93 on the ground and 3 touchdowns today. Holy cow, this guy might end up in the Heisman conversation. George Nijman, 4 for 107 and a touchdown today. Emmett Longo also almost had a big touchdown, just couldn't get the foot down. As on defense, we had quite a bit of success in getting behind the line and also producing some sacks. So then how did we end up giving up so many points, you know? The mysteries of the universe here, as we will move on into, I think, just a long gauntlet of conference play, as I will see you next week. Okay, so our verbal has turned hard for Nick Eldrenkamp, as he will join the squad at the end of the season, as it looks like we are still in good shape for the recruits that we had in attendance on those visits, which is good news. So I will see you, oh boy, when I have an update on recruiting before this matchup against Georgia. Okay, so the only real update so far anyway is that we kind of had to up the offer on Eric Span, as I can see Texas is starting to pull closer in recruitment, and we definitely don't want to allow that to happen, especially when our visit has to be so late. So we're upping the offer on him, and now that we have one of our players hard committed, as you can see, Victor Crum is still playing the I don't like you, okay I like you, I don't like you game. We will go back to the prospect board here, and we'll continue to try to fill some needs here, as I think we're fine leaving tackle. I think 2 freshman tackles is fine. I think we're going to add a guard here next, and then we'll add defensive players, obviously. I think we need an edge rusher. That's something we should definitely go after, and I wouldn't even be opposed to going after another tight end in this freshman class, making sure we have plenty of depth there, because I don't think we don't really have a ton of talent in that room right now. Okay, so we've added Amani Adebaware here, and he's a well-rounded archetype, which I feel like I never see at guard. I see so many like raw strength and agile archetypes, but I never see well-rounded at guard, and he looks pretty damn well-rounded. So we're going to send him a scholarship offer, and like I said, we're going to go ahead and make sure we send him an offer that makes him interested off the bat, and then we'll go ahead and send him 40 points this week to get him on our recruiting path. We still have 120 hours left. Man, I mean, those hours 40 of those do belong to Victor Crumb. However, even with that, we have 80. I'm still kind of tempted to add at least one more player here, so I might go after an edge rusher. Let's take a look at the edge rushers here and see what there is. There's still quite a few top guys that aren't being scouted. I mean, none of the 5-star guys, which we're fine, I think, not getting a 5-star guy this class. I think we're approaching that kind of talent. Okay, Larry Sneed's a pure power archetype that's interested in us and has nobody going after him right now. I've never really seen much success as Buck Smizniak or Sizniak? I don't know how you say that last name. Jesus Christ. Why is it always got to be the craziest last names on this channel? He's an edge setter. I also don't really like that archetype. Max Hops here. That's funny. I wonder if he's got a crazy vertical. Is also someone not getting recruited. He's a power rusher, got good size, and I think that's the guy. 4-star edge rusher. I think that's a good addition to our edge rushing room. And then I wouldn't even be opposed to getting a second edge rusher in this freshman class, right? Because we need... Okay, well, that stinks. Good thing we recruit these guys. So I guess we're going to have to hold off on our plans of... getting an edge rusher this week. We'll come back to the next week in next episode when we have a refreshed recruiting budget. But for now, it's time for, I think, one of the biggest matchups in this series to date as we take on Georgia. And if it wasn't piss your pants time already, it's going to be extra piss your pants time when you realize that we are away from home for this matchup. Can we come out on top in probably one of the toughest road environments in college football? Okay, we are here in Georgia. Can we take down the Bulldogs at home? And I think if we can do so, we will cement ourselves in the SEC in season 1. I mean, we already come into this matchup ranked number 1 in the country, which I think is insane. I don't know if we are deserving of a ranking that high. I mean, we did win the national championship, and we are a 95 overall team. However, it doesn't feel right for some reason, as we do manage to knock the ball out there on first down. Georgia's still deep in our territory here to begin this game, more than we would like. That felt a little strange, as like the pump fake or whatever happened really bugged my screen out for a second. So 3rd and 6 here. They're going to be in the shotgun. I mean, we've done a good job keeping Georgia from moving it so far in this opportunity, as we cannot... I mean, he completed it in the middle of a UTSA sandwich there. I mean, can you be that upset when we blow the opportunity we were given? As it's 3rd and 5 for him. We're going to bring the heat, and we do manage to knock it out. That is the transfer safety product there, the other safety that we brought in. And I'm blanking on his name. I think it's Marco Arcuri, right? That's what his name was, if I remember correctly. I'm better with the names that we've had on the roster for a season or two. As they're going to fake the handoff here inside our red zone, and they're going to have to throw it away. We got into the backfield just in time there. Who is that? I have no idea who just in time is. 2nd and goal here for Georgia. Little bit of late night psychosis, if you will, as they almost get it through into the end zone. However, it is going to be 3rd and goal. And they're going to try to run the speed option, and we are there immediately. Way to key in on the play as, oh no, is that Daquan Fouts that goes down there? And that looked pretty serious as he was grabbing at his leg slash knee. Once again, combining words because I can't finish a thought one at a time here. As hopefully he is okay here. Maybe we'll check the injury report before our next opportunity. Make sure nobody is devastatingly injured. Nope. Okay, so he's just a little banged up. Maybe bumped his knee on something. As it's going to be 3rd and 5 for us here in this opportunity. Well, we called a run play. Okay, well, we do get the pass play dialed up. and we actually end up throwing that one away. I couldn't tell if we had managed to get the play called in correctly here. We don't fear. Okay, maybe we should have, as they are in our backfield. Oh my God, talk about putting my foot in my mouth. That's all the way down my throat after that one. We do manage to get the ball back here as Georgia is up 10-0. We're going to hand off to Chad Draghi, and he cuts, and he is gone. Touchdown. Nobody even in his path there at the end of that, as Georgia is driving deep into our territory here, as we're going to have to try to stand up here with Georgia having no real problems moving the ball on us this game, and we will be there to stop that quick pass. Thank God I ended up overcommitting to the run there, because it actually put us in a better spot. 2nd and 2 here. We're going to play some man-to-man, and they are going to hand off. There's nothing but space for them. Probably regret playing man, but if they throw the ball there and we're in zone, I feel like 90% of the time when I play zone inside the red zone, it's just an automatic touchdown for them. As it is 3rd and 3 here, we're going to try to find something in the air. We're going to have to drop it off quickly to Chad Draghi, but it will be good enough for a first. And okay, a couple of big passes there on the drive. And we are on the 3-yard line here with 1st and goal. Just under a minute to go in the first half. I think we are okay walking into halftime with just a 3-point deficit, and that's exactly what it'll be here. As Georgia ended up getting a field goal before halftime. Jesus Christ. God forbid I say anything before it happens in this series. As it is 3rd and 5 for us here. We're going to try to audible. Have no idea if it is the play. No, it's going to be the draw that we called originally, as we do manage to pick the first down up anyway. Just got to be prepared for every eventuality when you're playing in a tough road environment like this, right? And on 1st and goal, we have a chance to take the lead here. We're going to hand off to Chad Draghi again, and he won't be able to get into the end zone this time. 2nd and goal here. We are going to try to get the bubble screen going, but they are right on it, and we're going to try to find our receivers. I couldn't get the I was like panicking because let me explain. I was panicking because I had thought his button was B, and it wasn't when it popped up finally, and so I thought I was about to throw it to some random person, but luckily B wasn't one of the options that I could throw to. So I was able to slide just past the pressure and drop that one off to give us the lead here. So, little bit of a poopy in the butthole situation there. That was really close, as it is 3rd and 6 for Georgia here. Almost 4th quarter time, the witching hour, and we could walk away victors in this game. Oh my God! Here lies whoever the hell that was. Oh my God, Demetrius Hester just ended that man's life in front of our very eyes. As Georgia is deep in our territory, in our red zone even, as it is 1st and 10 for them. And they're going to drop back to pass here. And they're going to just drop it off short. And once again, we will try to stop them before the line. Demetrius Hester makes the tackle that time. I guess he's still a little banged up from that hit too. I mean, when you murder a man, I guess it takes a toll on you. And 2nd and 4 here. We're going to try to bring some heat maybe. And, there's just nothing but space there. It's just like we blitz in every direction except for where the massive hole is opening. As on 1st and goal here, I think the quarter is going to end before the snap, unless they snap it quick here. All right, so 4th and goal here. 4th and goal. 1st and goal here. First play of the 4th here is what I was trying to get at. And they're going to hand off, and it is not going to go anywhere, as 2nd and goal is coming up. I really want to play some press coverage and make sure that we are there to jam anything just in case. And we're going to try to get the run blocked, and it's just not going to happen. So Georgia's going to waltz right into our end zone here. And on the ensuing drive, we've got an opportunity here on 3rd and 3. I definitely called a pass play here, so I'm not going to get baited by the run play continuously showing up on my screen. But we will end up running for a first down. So our offense is continuing to be able to move the ball in return in this game. So we are deep in Georgia territory here as we're going to hand off to Draghi. Draghi's going to cut, and he's going to almost take it across the goal line, but it is going to be first and goal for us on the 1. I mean, it really is just a blow-for-blow matchup in this game as Draghi's going to take another handoff and score it one more time. I mean, oh my gosh, we scored a quick one there as we are in the lead here as Georgia is driving it into our territory. Or no. Okay, I see what the drive opportunity is. So Georgia's going to be on a drive here trying to tie this game up, and we are tasked with stopping it here. I think we come out here in man on first down. I think they're going to be more lenient or more tempting to pass as the quarterback's just going to step up. Got to be ready for the quarterback scramble, I suppose, as we just left tons of open space that time. And on second down here, on first and 10 here, they're going to hand off. And the 2-minute timeout is here. So 2 minutes left in this ball game for Alabama to be able to drive down and score. Feel like it's definitely a possibility. We can't let up at all. Can't let the cheeks relax at all until the final whistle blows, as we will take him down that time after the sticks. And it's going to be first and 10 once again for Georgia. I mean, we gotta start making some stops before the sticks, making them make multiple plays for first downs, as I misread where that throw was going, and oh my goodness, Georgia is just tearing through our defense. I mean, maybe I shouldn't be playing so much man, but I feel like zone is also just as liable to get us burnt here. We're going to drop back in zone here on first and 10, though, as he's going to scramble and throw it away. Okay, small sample size. Don't start getting big before a few plays, all right? Before you go down the comment section and, like, ream me for letting up these big chunks of yards. As we are going to be in zone here, and they're going to drop it off short. And that receiver is just so fast. It's so hard to catch him when he gets going. As Georgia's going to call a timeout here with 1:17 on the clock. So even if Georgia manages to score here, which I have no doubt in my mind that they are probably going to push the ball across the plane here on first and goal. They're going to hand the ball off, and we do manage to stuff them short that time. So they're going to allow the clock to run, which is an interesting call here. We're going to make sure our corners press, and we're going to try to bring the heat once again on second and goal, and what a catch from the receiver. Can't do much about that, and they're going to score. But we have 39 seconds here to go down and try to get a field goal to maybe put ourselves on top in this game. And I think what we do very first thing here is we try to get ourselves a shot. However, nothing was even close to being open that time. Let's try to save ourselves a timeout here and just run the hurry up. We'll snap it off. Can't find anything here on one side, so we're just going to roll out and get out of bounds. So first and 10 here, 19 seconds to go on the clock. We're going to roll out to the left here. I see a wide open man, and he's out of bounds. Oh, my God. Gregory Fala just put it a little too far outside his reach, and it's going to be second and 10 here. George Nijman's one-on-one on the outside as we cannot complete that one. Oh, my goodness, this game's going to overtime. I truly thought that, I really thought that we had a chance to have a good one-on-one opportunity, and it just didn't work out in our favor there, as I guess we'll call a timeout. There's no way, right? There's absolutely no way. But why not, right? Why not let it fly? I'm going to lock in here for this. And it is up. It might be long enough. It's just short. Oh, my God. Could you imagine? I don't know if I timed it well enough because, I mean, the meter disappears. So we are indeed in overtime here against Georgia. And Georgia wins the toss here, and they are going to elect to play defense first. So really not ideal to be in overtime, but we kind of knew that this game wasn't going to be easy to win. So first play of overtime here, we are given the ball and they are telling us to go score. Yes, sir, I say as I step in here. Hand off to Chad Draghi, make a man miss and pick up the first down. I mean, talk about being able to do it all here. And it is 1st and 10 as we're going to drop back to pass maybe. And I see Jay, what's his last name? Why can't I remember? There's 2 new Jays on our team. Jay Connors. We have Jay Tutt in the cornerback room and Jay Connors on offense now. As on 1st and goal, Fala's going to hand off to Draghi. I mean, there's nobody even there. And we are going to score with relative ease on our first opportunity here, as Georgia is also now moving the ball with relative ease on their first opportunity here in overtime. And they're going to drop back to pass, and they're going to dump it off to the running back, and we're going to be there to take that down after just a short gain. It's going to be 2nd and goal. Hearts pounding, cortisol levels spiking. We're going to lock in here. We're going to give it our best shot as, whoa! Oh, there was the opportunity of a lifetime just on a silver platter, and I just mistimed it. I don't even know, honestly, if us timing it up would have made a difference. However, so Georgia will now have the ball back here since they get the ball back to back, and they're going to be throwing the RPO here on 1st, and we are nowhere near, and it's going to be 1st and goal. Oh man, oh man, oh man. The fatigue, right? You know, we can only hold up for so long. I mean, what was the hesitation there? What are we doing? Tackle the quarterback. And okay. Unfortunately, Georgia appeared to get the 2-point conversion as well. That's unfortunate. As we will step out here on our opportunity, and it is 1st and 10. We're going to drop it off to Chad Draghi and pick up a big gain of 7. I'm like deep in thought at this point about hypothesizing what we do if we score the touchdown at this point, because that's going to be more nerve-wracking than scoring the touchdown. We're not having that much of an issue moving the ball. It's going to be, what do we do when we have 2 yards and Georgia's going to be doing everything in their power to stop us? As we're going to hand off to Draghi again, and he finds a little bit of space there to the 4-yard line. 2nd and goal here. We are on the 4 now, and we will drop back to pass. George Nijman is open in the end zone, and he's going to hold on through the contact, and that's a touchdown. Okay. Oh, no. Did we won? What happened? What happened? I'm so confused. Oh, okay. Okay. I see what happened here. So after we got the touchdown, we managed to convert the 2-point, and then it became a 2-point shootout where we both failed the first, and then we managed to hold them in the second, and we beat Georgia by the skin of our teeth in like septuple overtime. What an ending to this episode, dude. Holy cow. And somehow, some way, we find ourselves 4-0 to begin this season, our first season in the SEC, and we managed to take down a very tough Georgia squad. I neglected the stats in my excitement here. So Gregory Fala today, 21 of 33 for 248 and 3 touchdowns. Chad Draghi, 17 for 137 and 4 touchdowns. I mean, he is just insane. Jay Connors, 7 for 106. George Nijman, 6 for 84. And Emmett Longo, 4 for 35, with all 3 scoring a touchdown. On the defensive side of the ball, not having too much success getting into their backfield. No sacks and only a singular interception, but we will take that. As we move on to next week. What a win to get under our belt. Holy cow. Okay, so we are seeing some more commitments here. We see a verbal from Max Trimble. We get a verbal from Nick Vanderos and a verbal from James B as well. Looking pretty good, as Eric Span we're still in 2nd place for, but we are staying pretty close with Texas. So as long as we can kind of keep pace there as we get closer to our visit week, maybe we stand a chance. I also am open to the idea of preparing for a future that doesn't involve him. But that is a matter for next episode. What an episode this was, and I really hope that you guys have enjoyed. If you did enjoy, like I said, comment down below and let me know what you guys are thinking. Hit the like button and subscribe as well so we can continue to grow our community and reach some more people. And I will hope to see you in another episode here very, very soon. Take care.